Harassment accusations continue to fly tonight. Longtime TV host Ryan Seacrest is the latest person to be named by an accuser.
Seacrest's former stylist Susie Hardy says she was subjected to years of unwanted sexual aggression while working at E! News. Hardy claims that Seacrest sexually assaulted her multiple times, including grinding against her while clad only in his underwear, groping her. Seacrest grabbed her and threw her on the bed while she was dressing him at the Roosevelt Hotel.
She yelled, "Get off of me." She was trying to get away from him, he says. I could see an erect penis in his underwear.
Ryan Seacrest has some disturbing allegations under his belt. His former stylist claims Ryan acted inappropriately. Her name is Susie, and she says Ryan touched her multiple times. He also allegedly forced himself on top of her while in his underwear. At one point, Ryan was so comfortable, he even assaulted her in front of colleagues. So let's get into it. So I don't know if Ryan Seacrest rubbed you guys the wrong way, but maybe after watching this video, you'll look at him differently.
Harassment accusations continue to fly tonight against lawmakers and celebrities, and the list is now growing. Longtime TV host Ryan Seacrest is the latest person to be named by an accuser.
So Ryan Seacrest has been accused of some inappropriate behavior by one of his previous stylists.
Ryan Seacrest is the latest A-list celebrity in a rapidly growing list of Hollywood heavyweights accused of sexual misconduct. The alleged incident happened 10 years ago during his time at E! News. His accuser, a former stylist there who claims Seacrest acted inappropriately toward her.
So Ryan Seacrest is a big deal. If you don't recognize him from American Idol, you may have heard of the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which he helped produce and create. I believe he's also part of the Hulu project, so he's everywhere and he's an important part of Hollywood. His accuser's name is Susie Hardy, and she decided to speak out with Variety because a bunch of media outlets were ignoring her story, and she felt total exasperation after her complaint filed at E! Was dismissed. She was quoted saying, "It was obvious the investigator who did an internal investigation at E! Was whitewashing it for Seacrest's side." She also added that the investigator never contacted 4 witnesses who she claimed would have corroborated her story. So she filed a complaint with E! Over Ryan's actions. She did this all privately, but she claims this investigation was soiled. So Susie told Variety that Ryan started sexually harassing her as soon as she landed the job as his personal stylist at E! News in 2006. At this point, she was a single mother of a young daughter, and she desperately needed this job. Susie's lawyers wrote up a letter explaining her situation, and they claimed that she lived very close to Ryan's personal assistant when she worked for him. And by the end of her first year working at E! This personal assistant told Susie that the TV host, Ryan, is really into you and has a crush on Susie. But it wasn't just a crush that Ryan had, because he allegedly pursued her and forced himself upon her.
Variety magazine's report that Seacrest's former stylist Susie Hardy says she was subjected to years of unwanted sexual aggression while working at E! News from 2007 to 2013. Hardy claims that Seacrest sexually assaulted her multiple times, including grinding against her while clad only in his underwear, groping her.
So let's go through all of the allegations that Susie has made against Ryan. First off, Susie claims that Ryan hugged her while only wearing underwear more than 10 times. She also alleges that at one point, Ryan was sitting in a director's chair in a dressing room, only in his underwear, and said to her, "I just don't think you're attracted to me." To which she replied, "I'm attracted to my paycheck," as she should, because no boss should be speaking to like a stylist or anyone like this. After a year of being hired as his stylist, she claims that one time Ryan was walking to set and he slid his hand under her crotch area. He was quoted saying, "Oh my God, are you going to sue me?" She replied saying, "Not if I stay employed." Ryan and his team are trying to make it seem like Susie wants her 15 minutes of fame or she wants to cash in big. But there are other people who worked at E and they claim they saw what Susie went through.
Ryan Seacrest continues to vehemently deny these allegations, calling a story in Variety salacious. But the attorney for stylist Susie Hardy put us in contact with a source who I spoke with by phone last night. That source says he was there too, and he described some of the same incidents that Hardy has alleged.
So this man used to work at E with Susie, and he claims he witnessed at least 2 separate occasions when Ryan got handsy with Susie. In the first incident, both Susie and her coworker claim that Ryan slapped her butt, which actually produced a welt hours later. She actually took a photo of this and provided it to E and Variety, which if you look at photos, you can see like what date and time these were taken. So, I mean, not that she needs to release this, but it is interesting evidence.
Hardy also alleges before the 2009 Oscars, Seacrest grabbed her and threw her on the bed while she was dressing him at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Susie has a lot of stories to tell, and one that really bothers me is the one that happened in 2009 at the Oscars. So they were all getting him ready for the Oscars and the red carpet, and at some point Ryan was wearing only his underwear and had a visible erection. He allegedly threw Susie onto the bed where he climbed on top of her and rubbed himself onto her. That is what Susie's claiming. Her co-worker claims that he opened the door to the bedroom and saw that Ryan was holding Susie in a bear hug from behind. She was yelling, "Get off of me." She was trying to get away from him. This co-worker, though, claims that he could see that Ryan had an erect you-know-what.
Just before an Oscars red carpet special in 2008, the source who worked alongside Seacrest says Seacrest was being dressed by Hardy at the Roosevelt Hotel in L.A. He says the doors to the bedroom opened and Seacrest was holding Hardy in a bear hug from behind. She yelled, "Get off of me." She was trying to get away from him, he says. I could see an erect penis in his underwear. Hardy's attorneys had said the incident happened in 2009 and that Seacrest was on top of Hardy on a bed in the hotel room. That letter also included an allegation that in 2009 Seacrest slapped Hardy on her rear end as they were leaving an E set.
Another allegation I came across was that Ryan at some point tried to shove Susie's head towards his crotch because she was tying his shoe, and I guess he saw the opportunity and seized it.
The source, who NBC News has verified worked alongside Ryan Seacrest, says he saw the TV star behave inappropriately towards stylist Susie Hardy on multiple occasions. She would go to tie his shoe, and Ryan would shove her head toward his crotch. I saw that more than once.
So that coworker is coming through for Susie, but there are other coworkers who are coming through for Ryan. And one person provided a video clip where they claim that Ryan was uncomfortable when Susie was tying his shoe, so this couldn't have happened. This is only one instance that happens to be on camera, but they released this as evidence to make Ryan seem innocent.
Mark, just so you know, she's actually tying my shoe.
A source close to Seacrest provided this video as a rebuttal, arguing it shows that Seacrest was uncomfortable with Hardy tying his shoes.
The year after all of these incidents, moving into 2010, Susie was dating a powerful attorney. And it seems like Ryan was a little bit jealous because he allegedly asked her if the pair was intimate, which she told him not to ask personal questions. Then she claims that he proceeded to grab her private area, her crotch. All of this led Susie to go to E and report it all. And they did reach out to her and asked her about everything. And she claims that she did not have a consensual, physical relationship with Ryan, and he continued to touch her when she asked him not to. You guys won't believe this, because 2 weeks after she met with HR, she lost her job, so she would no longer be working with Ryan or E! News at all. And that's the punishment she gets for speaking out.
Live from the Academy Awards.
He's the king of the red carpet.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have no idea how to explain what's happening on this carpet right now.
Gold and silver, or gold, or?
I think a little bit of both.
I like what your hair is doing.
But this morning, new questions whether sexual misconduct allegations will overshadow Ryan Seacrest's Oscar Sunday.
A lot of people in Hollywood have been accused of poor behavior, and I'm glad people are comfortable speaking out about their experiences. But what's different about Ryan's case is that he actually spoke out publicly first. He put out a statement that a former wardrobe stylist at E came forward with a complaint suggesting that Ryan had inappropriately behaved towards her, and he denies all of these allegations. In his statement, he apologizes if he made her feel anything but respected, but denied the reckless allegations.
The statement today, Seacrest said in part, quote, "If I made her feel anything but respected, I am truly sorry. I dispute these reckless allegations, and I plan to cooperate with any corporate inquiries that may result. I treat all my colleagues with kindness, dignity, and understanding, as this is a principle that's core to who I am."
What are your thoughts on Ryan addressing this situation before Susie? Because most of the time, these people who are accused, they completely ignore a situation, but he addressed it head on. He literally wrote an essay for The Hollywood Reporter and explained how the allegations have affected him and said it's important to assure that those accused of misconduct have an opportunity to receive due process, which I agree with. He writes, quote, "To have my workplace conduct questioned was gut-wrenching. Yet I knew, regardless of the confidence I had, that there was no merit to the allegations." A few months go by and E comes out with their internal investigation report, and it turns out that they've cleared Ryan of any wrongdoing. They are quoted saying that they found insufficient evidence to support the claims against Seacrest. They claim they spent 2 months on this process and had outside counsel come in and interview more than 24 people about the allegations. Well, that's interesting because Susie claims that they didn't even speak to the 4 people she had mentioned, so who are these 24 people that they had spoken to?
The investigation found insufficient evidence to substantiate allegations against Seacrest. Sources close to Seacrest dismiss NBC News' source as a friend of Hardy's and a disgruntled former E employee, adding there were other witnesses who dispute Hardy's accounts.
It also seems like Ryan has an aggressive lawyer named Adam Baum, and this guy decided to call out Variety for publishing this story, claiming that it's upsetting and that they have ran untrue allegations. Here's his statement, but there's one part I want to read in particular, because he claims that they were threatened with these false claims unless they pay $15 million. So they're claiming that Susie says that if I don't get $15 million, I'm making up all these allegations and going to the press and going to destroy you, which that's a huge claim, because if Susie did all of this, then she's some mastermind. Susie and her lawyer have both put out statements claiming that they have never asked for any monetary compensation. So already, right off the bat, there's someone clearly lying here. Also, I wish we could see all of the reports involved in this investigation, because E hired this, counsel to do the investigation, but E has some really important ties with Ryan Seacrest. They're not going to set him up for failure. E relies on Ryan to deliver some of its biggest content. He's also on the radio. There's American Idol going on. There are so many projects that he's involved in that, he's not going to fail. These people have too much money invested in him that they're going to make sure that any of these problems that come about just conveniently go away. Ryan has said in a statement, "This person who's accused me of horrible things offered on multiple occasions to withdraw her claims if I paid her millions of dollars, but I refused." He added that he worked extremely hard to achieve his success, and he doesn't want anyone to accuse him of not telling the truth because he can't do anything but deny these claims.
This person who has accused me of horrible things offered on multiple occasions to withdraw her claims if I paid her millions of dollars. I refused, adding, "I have worked extremely hard to achieve my success, and I don't take my opportunities for granted. I don't want to accuse anyone of not telling the truth, but in this case, I have no choice but to again deny the claims against me, remind people that I was recused of any wrongdoing, and put the matter to rest."
I think one of the reasons why people don't remember these allegations and don't associate Ryan Seacrest with this scandal is because he has this persona because of American Idol and all of his hosting work and his radio work. People like Ryan. He seems like a really good guy and someone who could never do anything like this. So is Susie lying? We don't really have any legal cases to look over. We've got 2 lawyers making these statements, but nothing was ever taken to court. So ultimately, we don't know. It's up to you guys to decide whether Susie's capable of making this all up. Does she have this coworker who's going to side with her? You know, she's maybe telling him hey, we'll get $15 million. I'll give you 5. I'll keep the 10, and then we'll set him up. But I just you can't really get away with that. And maybe that's what happened and they didn't get away with it. I just wanted to talk about this situation because I found it really interesting. And it's either an example of Ryan Seacrest being an absolute creep, what the heck, jumping on top of this person, having his boner out and about where multiple people can see, is he really that guy? Or it's a story about someone who is in the middle of the Me Too movement and wants to hop on board and see what they can gain out of it. I'm not the one to decide here. I'm no judge, and no judge has taken a look at this, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.